Alright. Okay. So I've already got everything set up. This is going to be Jenette against the Evomorph on the USS Konrad. Jenette has 7 health. She only needs to save 4 victims to get her ultimate ability. One of them is she can reduce the horror level, she can move one space, take a search card, or take any top item card from the item decks when she saves victims. And I will show the ultimate if that happens. The item cards we have face up at the moment. We have a flamethrower in the armory, which is very appropriate. We have a key card in the mess hall, and then the ship's manifest in the storage. Now our starting event is Master Access, which says if any of the top cards of each item deck are face down, flip them face up, and then take any keycard item that is showing. So at the very beginning of the game, I get to take an extra keycard into my backpack. And keycards can be used to unlock stuff on the ship. So there are certain paths, certain maintenance shafts that start locked or inactive, but you can use a keycard to activate those maintenance shafts and then you can travel through them. Or there's some other cool stuff you can do with keycards. You can go to the trash compactor and activate the crusher, which will deal 1 damage to anything that ends its movement there. You can use 2 keycards to activate the furnace, which will activate the incinerator. And then anytime anything enters there, you roll a die and then deal damage equal to, based on the number you roll. You have the airlock, which uses 3 keycards, and then you place the airlock token into the hangar space, and then on your turn, you can, if you are in or adjacent to the hangar, you can effectively kill everything that's in that hangar location, including the killer. And then we have everybody's favorite, the self-destruct. This costs 4 keycards to activate, and then you will place this sort of nuclear token on this track, and at the end of each turn it'll move over one, and when it reaches the end, if you are not at an escape pod space, you immediately lose the game. But if you are at an escape pod space when it blows up, you immediately win the game. And I have a strong feeling with that extra key card we got, just from that starting event, I have a strong feeling that's probably going to be how I win this game. There's some other things, but that's all we need to know for now. The Evomorph, at the start of the game, only has 4 HP. It starts out as a hatchling. It can only move 1 space at a time, but it deals 10 damage in its space. But as soon as it kills something, it's going to evolve and then disappear from the map, and then it has its own unique ambush deck. One side is for the youngling, and then when it evolves into an adult, we will read the adult ambush side. And when it evolves into an adult, it'll have 10 HP instead of just 4. It is possible to kill it before it becomes an adult, but it is extremely difficult and usually requires a lot of things going your way in order to do so. Okay, with all that out of the way, I'm going to begin game. So, I'm over here on the bridge. The killer is over here, or the Evomorph, I should say. Now, I could place my keycards into the spaces next to me and activate some maintenance shafts. Like if I activate this maintenance shaft over here, I could walk straight into this escape pod that has 2 people in it already, and then save those 2 people on the first turn. But if I use my keycards, I can't get them back. And since I have an extra keycard, there are 2 keycards just laying on the board that I can grab. If I grab those keycards and then activate the self-destruct, I can win without needing to save anybody. And without even needing to worry about the killer whatsoever. So I think from the very first turn, that is already my plan that I am concocting, which is with this extra keycard, I can get a total of 4 and activate the self-destruct. So, with that in mind, I'm going to begin by simply discarding 3 cards from my hand and gaining 3 time. Oh, the Evomorph also has unique cards you can purchase. It has a scan card you can use. When the Evomorph disappears, you can roll to scan your location to see if it's there. If you get a single success, you just put an X in your space, meaning that the Evomorph can't ambush you in that space. If you get a double success, you get to put an X in your space and reduce the horror by 1. And if you get a triple success, you force the Evomorph into your space and skip its next turn. So if you prepare enough, you can just absolutely cook it. An alternative strategy, instead of trying to go purely for the self-destruct route, I could... There's a flamethrower here in the armory face up, which is an incredibly strong item that gives all of your attacks +3 damage and can hit at a range of 0 or 1. But all damage must be distributed evenly between victims, enemy, and you in that order in the space that is attacked. So I could just use the flamethrower instead of trying to do the self-destruct thing to just absolutely cook them. So I'll probably use that as a backup plan if the self-destruct strategy starts going sideways. Anyway, I'm going to spend 4 time to get 2 sprint cards, because if I want to grab those key cards, I need to start moving. Spend 2 more time to get 2 close calls in case I need to re-roll some dice, because I just roll nothing but misses, which if my last 2 games I played are any indication, I'm going to need those close calls. And lastly, I have 3 time left. I'm going to grab a distraction. Put that back up to 6. And then the Evomorph. So with Hans only attacked his space every turn. The Evomorph will target the nearest victim, move toward it, and then attack its space. So the Evomorph will both move and attack, but notably, it doesn't target you or a victim, it only targets the nearest victim. So it doesn't actually care about you all that much, it just cares about killing everyone else. So it's going to move into this space to get closer to these people, and then attempt to attack, but the space is empty. And then we're going to draw a terror card. Catastrophic Hull Breach, okay. So it's immediately going to move and attack. So it's going to move and then kill a victim in its space, increasing its bloodlust by 1, and then it's going to immediately evolve into a youngling and then when it evolves into a youngling, it immediately vanishes off the board. Now normally that also ends its turn immediately, so I'm not actually sure if I resolve the rest of this card. Let me double check really fast here. When the hatchling evolves into a youngling, it immediately vanishes. And it ends the killer phase. So I don't think I actually resolve the rest of this, which is good because it would have blown up this key card, I think. So it's a good thing that that's not going to happen. Instead, the Evomorph evolved, immediately ends the phase, and now people would panic, but the killer's not in any spaces, so nobody panics. So it is back to my turn. I'm going to begin by walking. First roll of the game, let's see how it goes. A success and a partial success. I think I'm going to discard. I think I'm going to discard 2 cards in order to make it a double success, which will allow me to move 2 spaces. So I'm going to move 1, 2, the cost of 1 time. I'm going to attempt to sprint to hopefully move 2 more spaces. That is a success. I'm going to 2 spaces down here at the cost of 1 time, and now I'm ending my movement in a space that has a key card, and so I can spend another time to grab a 3rd key card. Okay. It's good. And then I'm going to end my turn there. And with 3 time, I'm going to grab a distraction again. So go back up to 6. Cards will go back into the tableau. And now it goes to the killer phase, but the killer's not on the board anymore. So instead, we are going to draw an ambush card. Horror increases by 2, and then Bloodlust increases by 2. So Horror goes up by 2. It's a good thing I got those distractions. And then Bloodlust will go up by 2, increasing the Horror level again. So we are now in the red, which means I can only roll 1 die for every card I play instead of 2. Okay, so now it goes back to me, and I'm going to use one of those distraction cards that I got. That is a miss. That's really bad, but I'm simply going to spend 4 time to reduce the horror by 1, because the distraction, even if you fail, you can still reduce the horror level by 1 if you spend 4 time, or you can increase it by 1 and only lose 2 time. But I really need to decrease that horror level so I can roll more dice. So now I get 2 dice again. But I only have 2 time now, which is a little bit spooky. I want to try to make it over to this other key card, so I'm going to sprint again. Roll 2 dice. Oh, and we get a double success. Okay, the game is being very nice today. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. at the cost of 1 time. And if I walk and get another double success, I can walk 2 and collect that key card. It would put me at negative time, which will immediately end my turn, and I won't get to buy anything. But I'll have the key card, and then can focus on just getting back to the other side of the map on the bridge. But you know what? I'm going to use a distraction instead. And if I just get another, if we could just roll double successes all game, that'd be great. That is 1 success and a partial, and you know what? I'm gonna discard 2 cards to make that a double success, reduce the horror level by 2, and increase time by 2. Okay, and then I'm going to pass the turn, and with 3 time I'm going to grab a sprint and a close call. Get all my free cards back. This goes back up to 6, and then I will fill up the tableau. Okay. So now we will pull another ambush card. Make a horror roll. If you fail, increase bloodlust. If you succeed, there's no effect, and if you get a double success, you place an X in your space so that the Evomorph can't ambush you there. So I'll roll 2 dice. That is a fail currently. Where was this guy? I could make it a success so that the bloodlust isn't increased, but increasing the bloodlust won't actually do anything for now, so I'm just going to let that happen. Okay. I'm now going to sprint to hopefully move 2 spaces. That is a success, so I will move 2 spaces for 1 time, and then we'll spend an additional time to pick up this 4th key card. The Evomorph's just been chilling in the vents this game and doesn't realize what's about to happen to it. So there's a 4th key card. Now I just need to get all the way to the bridge and then activate the self-destruct and then make it back into another escape pod. No pressure. But also, I brought 2 victims with me, and I am going to save them. I'm going to take any top item card, so I'm going to grab the flamethrower just in case I need, end up needing to kill the Evomorph if this plan goes south. And then I can either move 1 space or reduce the horror level to prevent it from being more of an issue. The move 1 space is nice, but I think I'm going to reduce the horror level by 1 just in case. Okay. I'm going to end my turn there, just doing the 1 sprint and nothing else. I'm going to spend 4 time to get a sprint and a guard, again just in case, along with 2 other cards. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cards in hand. Exactly the hand limit. And then the killer is going to ambush us. Horror goes up by 1 and bloodlust goes up by 1. So Horror goes up, Bloodlust goes up, and now it's finally at the point where it evolves into a fully fledged adult. So it will go up to 10 HP. And its dark power will be revealed. And its dark power is Razor Claws. When revealed, place the Evomorph in the closest space to you without an X, then remove all X's. Whenever the Evomorph damages you, you must randomly discard one action card. So he's going to teleport on top of me. Or she, I guess. And then that is all that they will do. Because they don't attack, they just spawn on top of me. So it is back to me. I'm going to begin the trek over to the bridge. So I'm going to sprint. Get a miss and a partial success. I will discard 2 cards to make that a success, and I will go 1, 2. Spending 1 time to do so. And then I'm going to walk. That is a success and a partial. I don't necessarily need to get a double here. But I think I will... No. No. I'll just take the 1. Move 1 space. Reduce time by 1. And then I'm going to pass the turn. I'm going to use 4 time to grab a sprint and 2 scan cards. Because the scan cards only cost 1 time. So all those go back into the tableau. And now the killer has finally revealed itself. So now it will move toward the nearest victim and attempt to attack. So it's going to move 1, 2, but no one's there. And then we will reveal a terror card. Game over, man. Game over. So the horror goes up by 1, and then it moves toward the nearest victim again, and then attacks. So it's going to move 1 past me, 2, and then kill this guy. Bloodlust goes up again. Okay. So now, back to my turn. I'm going to sprint to make it to that bridge. Notably, they are 1 space away with no one else in it, so I could use the flamethrower to do some damage. But I really don't think I need to at the moment. That is a double success. Unfortunately, it doesn't actually matter, because I only needed to move 2 spaces, not 3. So we're going to go 1, 2, spending a time, and then we are now at the bridge with 4 key cards. So I'm going to move all these, and then just to make this easier to see, I'm going to place the self-destruct into my backpack, placing all 4 key cards. You'll love to see a plan come together. And now I'm going to have 2 turns, or I have the rest of this turn and next turn to make it to an escape pod, and if I cannot, I will lose the game. Having said that, is this actually a good idea to do right now? Because how far away is the nearest escape pod? 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the closest one is 5 away. So with that in mind, on the next turn I would have to get a double success on one of my cards in order to make it to the exit. And you know what? I'm gonna take that risk. So I'm actually gonna walk right now and try to see if I can get another double success. I'm not hopeful because I feel like I've wasted all my luck early on, but yeah, that's about what I was afraid of. I'm gonna use a close call and spend 2 time in an attempt to rectify that. Oh no. Okay. Alright. Well, I'm not going to use another close call on that. I'm just going to lose 1 life, lose 2 time, and then still move 1 space. That's concerning. And then I'm going to discard a card to gain 1 time. Oh boy. Okay. I might have cooked myself, but it's okay. With 2 time left, I'm going to grab a sprint and all of my free cards back. Yes, and then put everything back in the tab below. Luck doesn't technically work like that, but sometimes it really feels like it does. Spent all my luck at the start, and now when I really need it, it's not gonna give it to me. That is okay, though. So the killer goes. They're going to move toward the nearest victim and kill them. So we're gonna go over here. Bloodlust goes up, horror goes up. I'm really glad I took the horror reduction, although if I had the extra movement, I would also be a little better at the moment. Here we go. Toying with the prey. It's going to move toward me. If the Evomorph is in your space during the next action phase, roll... Oh no, roll 1 fewer dice for all horror rolls! Oh no, I'm cooked, chat. Cause it's gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, and now I have to roll 1 fewer die. So I really needed to get a double there. Uh-oh. That's not good. And then it immediately disappears. Well, shit. So I get 1 fewer die. Is there any way to not immediately lose here? I don't think so. Right, because during the upkeep phase, this is going to move over. And then during the next upkeep phase, I'm going to die. Wow. Yeah, I've never had that happen before. Okay, I guess I'm just gonna lose here. Well, I guess I'm gonna walk. I get a success. Yippee. We're gonna move 1 space at the cost of 1 time. And we're gonna sprint. We're gonna get a partial. I'm going to discard 2 cards to make it a success. Go 2 spaces. But not quite make it, and I don't have another walk in my hand. So that's just gonna be it. I don't think there's anything I can do. So, I mean, Evomorph's turn. We're gonna pull out an ambush card for the adult side, I guess. Oh, I guess I need to, like, actually buy cards. Not that it's gonna matter. Sprint, close call, scan. Okay. Um, so, make a horror roll, gain 1 time, place an X. Okay. Um, Success, so I can gain 1 time. Cool. Alright, so that's that. And then we go to the upkeep phase where this moves over. And then, the ship self-destructs, killing everything. If you are not at an exit space, you lose the game. So there we go. I am my own demise, I guess, because I didn't anticipate it would remove a die from me, making it impossible to get a double success. Also, it gave me double misses twice on that last roll. So, there you go. Bit unfortunate, but yep, that's I played the odds and I shouldn't have. I could have just waited an extra turn. But oh well. That's it.